Is your teen's introversion a problem for your teen or for you? When Callie Yost was a teenager, she loved having a busy social life. But her teenage daughter Maddie is different. Even in elementary school, she loved her friends, but sometimes turned down invitations to their homes. I would have chosen a playdate every day, said Ms. Yost, a Madison, New Jersey, workplace consultant. For this outgoing parent, it's been a challenge to accept that her child, now 15, still has less interest in the kind of busy social life she herself craved. As many as 1/3 or half of all people are introverts, and that includes teenagers, says Susan Cain, whose new book, Quiet Power: The Secret Strengths of Introverts, focuses on the challenges that introverts face during their middle school and high school years. There is such an expectation that teenagers will embrace this natural rhythm of going from one thing to another, and will be at their happiest when surrounded by other teens, said Ms. Cain. Parents worry when teenagers don't fit that mold, and schools and teachers often still favor the more outgoing child, said Ms. Cain, author of the 2102 bestseller Quiet. Children who match what she calls the extroverted ideal, charismatic, talkative, always surrounded by friends, are more readily seen as happy and successful, even within their own families. It's much harder for parents like Miss Yost to know whether a quieter child is making her own choice to be alone or if she is feeling excluded. I hear from extroverted parents all the time, Ms. Cain said. They derive so much pleasure from being in the mix socially that it's hard for them to really understand a child who would rather stay home. Even parents who share a child's quieter characteristics aren't immune from worry, she said. For introverted parents, it's easy to understand and relate to an introverted child's needs and preferences, Ms. Cain said. But if we have a lingering discomfort or sense of shame about our own introversion, we tend to assume it is going to be that way for our teen. Both kinds of parents, she said, need to check their own mental outlook. Do you see your teen's personality as wonderful, or as a detriment that you have to overcome? Parents who appreciate a teen's quieter temperament can help him to embrace it and at the same time encourage him to push past the reluctance or even fear that sometimes accompanies introversion if it's limiting his opportunities. But knowing when to push, and when to back off, is a challenge. That was true for Karen Brown, a public radio reporter in Northampton, Mass., and an extroverted parent who has long struggled with her son's introversion. This is exactly the age when he needs to be putting himself out there, she said, referring to building his college applications and recommendations. But because the stakes are higher, doesn't mean his personality has changed. She's gently pushing him towards summer opportunities, and encouraging him to spend more time talking with teachers, coaches and guidance counselors. At the same time, she has had to accept that his version of putting himself out there might not look like hers. She might think he should apply for 5 summer positions, he might inquire about one, but immediately go after the job. There are things he does that surprise me and remind me that I don't always understand how well he is finding his way with his peers or in the world at large, she said.